It's another Starmancer patch video, but this one's extra special because we're joined by Evan from Discord, also via Discord. Say hi, Evan.
How we doing?
See? He's actually here. So this is our fourth patch, which makes Starmancer version 5, I think. And this time, I was extra prepared. I made some saves ahead of time to show you what I did, so pretty high speed, huh?
We're moving on up in the world.
That's right. All right, so the first thing I did is I changed the way colonists work with lighting, but I had some issues with the save, so I had to mess with some things. But in a second, I'll show it. So I'll spawn a colonist, and he will hopefully walk through this door eventually. What's his name? Ilsa. Ah, you broke my heart, Ilsa Saunders. Come on, Ilsa. Walk through the door. By the way, when the door opens, you're going to see some chairs, and those chairs are how I'm showing where the dynamic lights are being placed. So don't be super shocked by that. And in the meantime, he's using a heater. So that's part of the new free time actions. Not what I wanted him to be doing, but that's cool, Ilsa.
It is quite an engineering feat.
That it is. By the way, Ilsa doesn't know this yet, but he's been marked for death. Okay, so he walks through the door, and he gets lit correctly. And I know that a lot of things in game development is you watch it, and you're like, well, of course that's what happened. That's what's supposed to happen. I know, but that's what I did, is I did what was supposed to happen. See? Like, he walks through, and you're like, it doesn't look special. That's the point. It doesn't look special. Okay. But hang on. I have a promise to keep with somebody, so... This isn't part of the patch video, but this guy was annoying me. I'm not usually like this. Do I have the needs on right now? No, I don't. Okay. Okay. This is fine. Okay. Moving on. Next thing. Actually, something else with lighting too, by the way, that's kind of annoying that you might not think about. Doors are incredibly annoying because they exist in 2 rooms. And because of that, doors have to be lit by 2 things at the same time, but on the correct side. So for instance, if you look right down the middle of this door, on the left side is green, and on the right side it is blue. But also these walls, which are completely different objects, have to be lit correctly as well. So it's sort of a pain in the butt. And also when the lights open, or when the doors open, we're bleeding some light through the other side as well. And so all this crap has to happen at the same time in order for the lighting to work correctly. And I'm just going to randomize the colors so you can see it. Here. Here. Let me make it red just because red stands out and it's like dominating. Red. 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 Did I do it? Oh, I didn't do it correctly. Red. Go. And I'm going to make this dark so then you can kind of see it, exactly what I mean. And dark. And you can kind of see that a little bit of the red bleeds through. And if I were to place objects here, like chairs, I always use chairs because they're little. Here. I should not have used it. Well, that's okay. The red chair's fine. But you can see that kind of bleeds through. And then the chairs that are closer are, you know, more brightly lit. And the chairs that are further away are not lit as much or as strongly. So that's the thing. Okay. So next, let's see what else we got. Let's see, Evan, you did something. What'd you do?
This week I messed around a bit with some access positions on objects.
Like the food recycler, right?
Yeah, the food recycler. So with the food recycler, the colonists weren't picking up biomass from the correct location on the actual thing. And if you were, I don't know if you can flip on the access positions easily.
I can't, but what we're talking about with access positions are when a colonist uses an object. So when a colonist uses a food recycler, there's a pickup position for biomass, and it's separate from the drop-off position when they give the food recycler raw food. And I'm going to add some biomass just so you can see exactly where I'm talking about. Give us some biomass. Okay. So biomass is right here, but the actual hatch for opening, for dropping in food is right there. And so
Yeah.
take it away, Evan.
And then objects also have a generic access position that's used for like repairing or when the nanobot builds it. And what was happening was when the colonist would get all the access positions for the food recycler, it would get the generic position and go, oh, I can pick up anything I want from there. And we've solved this with some other items like the other objects like the
The ore
food
refinery.
or refinery and
Good
the
one. Big one.
nutrition brick factory.
Which is somewhere. By the way, the nutrition brick factory isn't in the freaking power, and I hate it every time I can't find it. If I wasn't a developer, I'd ask for a refund. I'm gonna ask for one anyway. I wonder what Packer Kit will say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, the
this,
reason. Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and to get around this, what we do is we create something similar to the generic access position, but we tell it, hey, if the colonist wants to use this for anything to do with items, just ignore it. Don't add yourself to the available access positions.
Right. And to show them more of what we're talking about, so we have like a food recycler access position, and just like everything else, it's an agent, and it's an item access position component, and in this case, it's the input one, and it accepts biomassable things, and biomassable things are things that can be recycled. And just to reiterate, what we're talking about is the pickup position is over here, and the drop-off position is right here, and they have to use a different one, and they weren't, but now they are.
And then more with access positions on the mining drone and the
good old mining
nutrition
drone.
brick. Yeah, the mining drone and
What a
the
guy.
nutrition brick creator. What we had going on was just the very end the colonists could actually walk to drop items off or pick items up, which, I mean, when you look at the thing, it doesn't make a
Represented
whole
by
lot
the
of
chairs.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and also awful to use too, because then as you're positioning things, what would end up happening is, I don't know, like if you were to put it where I put it right here, right up against this food recycler, it looks like perfectly intuitive, makes perfect sense that the colonist should be able to walk right in front of it, right here, and pick it up. They can now, but before they couldn't. And it's not it's always our intention that you should be able to place an object almost wherever and use it, unless it's very, very apparent. Like, for example, in the food recycler, it makes perfect sense that you can't use the food recycler from the back. Because if you look at it, it doesn't, I don't even know what it is, but it's just a back of a thing. And so it's reasonable that the colonist can't go there, and it's reasonable to assume that you can, intuit that as well. But with something like a food recycler, like it looks like you should be able to pick it up here or there. I don't know why I wasn't using colonists this entire time for access position demonstration. Doesn't matter. Oh well.
Chairs are just better colonists anyway.
That they are. That sounded like rehearsed banter, but it wasn't.
Yeah, right.
That was organic.
Back to you, Jim.
Yeah. Similarly with the ore refinery, it's very obvious that, like, of course they can't go on the back of it or the side of it because it's massive. But there are some objects where it stands to reason. Like maybe the dish counter is a good example, that the colonist should be able to go in front, behind, or also on the side, which is actually kind of cool. I never really thought about that. You put it on the side. You could make like a really cool room. These tangents are why these videos always end up being so long. But you could do something really crazy like what I'm about to do. I don't know why you would do this, but like you could. And
you could.
Actually, it doesn't look. I mean, I don't know why I've done this, because you could have just rotated it this way. Well, no, because now I can fit more things here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can fit twice as much stuff. So I'm like metagaming it. And then you could have a kitchen back here, and the cafeteria is in front, and then you could fit twice as many things in the same space if you're looking for the optimal layout, I guess. So, okay, cool. You got anything else about access positions?
I think that about wraps her up.
Let's see, what else? Something with crop spots. Oh yeah, I added a notification to crop spots when they don't have a crop drop off. Now this is actually kind of annoying to do, because I'm just going to place a crop spot to show you what I'm talking about here. But it was kind of annoying to do because, like, think about what does it mean to have a crop drop off nearby, right? So there's some radius. If it's right next to it, that's close enough. But if it's like really, 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 really far away, or even like this, for instance, if I were to place a crop drop off over here, like this, there's no way that any colonist could ever reach that. But also it gets a little more complicated, because what we're planning for the future, probably before beta and definitely before release, is that you'll be able to control which colonists can use which doors. So you might have a crop drop off through a door that one farmer can use, but another farmer can't use. So it's not enough to just check if there's a crop drop off near the farm. You also have to check if the specific farmer who's attempting to use it, can access it. And so what we ended up doing, and this is going to apply for other things in the future, like for the dish drop-off. But first, I'm going to spawn a water tank and just give it some water so that this guy stops complaining. If I could find it in this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this water tank some water. And then he should stop complaining. I need to connect it with power as well. Like that. And I'm going to spawn a farmer. If I could ever delete this. And what you should see, hopefully, is a notification that says, hey, I can't find the crop drop-off. Eventually. Okay, like that. And then it says missing object. If you click it, it says a colonist was unable to find a crop drop-off nearby. And for now, the icon is, like a Pac-Man ghost or something. I don't know what that is, but it's something.
Like a skull.
But then an annoying thing, too, about this is until this farmer attempts to use this crop spot again, or until a farmer attempts to use a crop spot again, you will not see this. Why is there a light right here? Didn't I delete the door before it was ever a thing? Who knows? Maybe it's a save issue. It's weird. But anyway, but right now, there's a crop drop-off, but this icon's still here, and the reason it's still here is because this farmer has not attempted to come back here. And again, it goes back to the exact same issue, is how can you determine if a crop drop-off is valid for this thing? And again, it's easy, like, it's very easy in this situation to see, oh, well, of course, because it's right there, and there's no real feasible reason that a colonist couldn't get there. But there's like a billion different layouts that you could do, and it has to work for all of them. And so you could have this layout just as easily, where you have this door. I mean, this is a great example. So you have this door, and this door is empowered, right? So that means no colonist can get through. So even though it's right there, you can't get there. But even if it was powered, maybe this guy can't get through there. So you got all these things going on at the same time. But if you notice when he used it, the warning went away and everybody was happy. And by the way, it'll also show a warning once the crop drop-off is full. So this is kind of, I don't know, something I don't like about this implementation is that you don't know that there's an issue until like it becomes an issue. But at the same time, it's kind of nice because if you knew what you were doing, you would never get the icon in the first place. So I don't know. And also it'll give you a warning once it's full. So I don't know. Okay, so that's that. And then I also changed how the food priority works for colonists. And so now they will, if you have food on a shelf, they'll prioritize cooked dishes like bread, and then they'll look for nutrition bricks, and then they'll look for raw food. And this is a little bit better because before what was happening is they would just randomly get a shelf, and whatever shelf was first, they would choose that shelf. And this was an issue because raw food, I think, restored 25 hunger, and a nutrition brick would restore 100 hunger. And what would eventually happen, or sometimes happen, is that your colonists would eat all your freaking tomatoes, and then you couldn't get any nutrition bricks, and then they were just like eating everything, and it was awful. Let me show if I show. What's this? Yum Yums, probably?
Probably.
Yeah. Let's see if I can demonstrate this real easily. So I have a sweet, oh, I almost swore. This sweet little shelf, little setup here. So I've got some nutrition bricks, and I've got some wheat, and I also have some bread. And if I were to spawn a colonist named Neil Patrick Harris, and I make him eat, if I could click him. Oh, I got him. Pause. Okay. And if I make him eat enough times, he should go through everything. This is how we test, by the way. We just have like this, we just make colonists do things, because if we waited, it would take forever. Eat. Eat, colonist. Eat. Did I tell him to eat? Oh, I think he has a thing. So. They check if they're hungry before they actually eat correctly. Are you hungry yet, guy? Are you hungry yet, guy? Not hungry yet, guy? You have to be like a certain level of hunger before they'll actually eat. There's an action called is hungry. I'm pretty sure it's literally called is hungry.
I think so, yeah. I think it's like 70%.
See, right here. Is hungry. And if his hunger level is less than the Riku level, then it just, then it fails. And then if it fails, he says, well, I'm not hungry. So, and the reason it does that is in case the find food need was queued like maybe multiple times or something like that, and you don't want the colonist to eat when he's hungry. But the point is, eventually, this guy should get low enough that he'll actually eat something. But he's still not low enough. Oh no, he's gonna die now. Well, hang on, I gotta save this guy. Okay, look, just play the patch, and you'll see that they because he died. This is going perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is exactly what I expected.
All right, Evan, take it away. You have something else probably.
Yes, it's near and dear to both my heart and yours. I worked on the toilet this week. More specifically, the door on the toilet that had gone MIA. And this was
toilet. Let's find the toilet. Boom.
Yeah.
Got a toilet. Now what Evan's talking about, by the way, is there's a door on the toilet that opens and closes when a colonist. Well, you wouldn't know because we removed it, but there used to be a door, and when the toilet was occupied, it would raise out of the floor.
It should go up if you turn it offline.
Turn it offline, like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the animator's a little weird about it right now. Are there layers on this thing? Oh, there are. That's probably why it's messed up. I was just trying to, off screen, I was trying to toggle with this thing just to make it do stuff. But maybe it's, maybe the animator's weird for it right now or something. But I'll turn it offline. I know it works. I saw Colonists using it. I could make a Colonist PP. Maybe so you do that. You can keep talking.
Yeah, and what was happening with this is the animator, it was playing the door open immediately when the object spawned on the cursor. So then you could kind of see it when he was hovering over it. The door actually extends down into the floor. So then you'd have a toilet on your cursor with the door into the floor, and it would look very weird. And we have some animation variables that are standards, like is online, is powered, and all that. Right. And is online usually happens like when we want the object to actually start doing things, and is powered makes all these lights that you see, the green lights, turn on. So what I did was I, for the second time in my life, played with Unity animators and made it so it had to be online so the door would actually open, and that fixed pretty much every issue that existed for it. Here it goes.
See? Oh, you know what? So the same thing happened. It's a similar thing with the eating. He didn't have to pee, so when he got there, he just was like, all right, well, I'm out of here later. Because the lower their need is, their urinate need is, the longer that they'll pee for. And this is usually fine because usually there's no reason that they would ever pee at such a high level. What a fella. God, Colonist, you're so embarrassing. Gosh.
Yeah, they've pretty much made us look bad at every turn so far.
A bunch of assholes. A bunch of jerks. It's not like this like syndicated. But it's a similar thing here. So you see that he uses it, it opens, when he leaves it closes. The thing is there's like a transition duration. And so when he uses the toilet and then gets out of the toilet, like basically really fast back to back, there's not enough time for it to close before he exits. So that's why it looks silly. You got anything else to say about the toilets? Are they amazing or what?
They're the most fascinating object in the game, I think.
By far, yeah. Okay, and then let's see. I added some line of sight checks for conversations, so now colonists who are in different rooms can't talk to each other. Like these guys shouldn't be able to talk to each other. But if they have line of sight, they should be able to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of trap them like prisoners if I can. Real quick. I got to go quick, though. Let me do like a crop drop off maybe to block them. I hope that if this do generate a route, he might walk through here. What a jerk. Is he going to? I can't even tell. I think so. He's like inside the crop drop off right now, so I'm not sure if he's going to... Okay, cool. So eventually these guys will hopefully get close enough they can talk to each other in a quick amount of time. I just kind of keep forcing them closer and closer together like this. I'll do like that or something, so they kind of have to... It's like it increases the amount of time they're going to be near each other. There we go. They just said something. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here they are. Here they're talking. They're going, hey, what's up? And then she says whatever, and he says whatever. Okay, so now she's losing line of sight, and they should stop talking. And they do. So it's beautiful. And then they breathe all the oxygen, and they will die together. Sawyer, Drake, and Una Moreno. So that's sad for them. Everyone dies. Okay, that's fine. It's whatever. People die in real life too. So this is a very relatable game. And there's some other little things too. Oh, the shelf closest to a colonist is now used when transporting items. So that was sort of a quality of life change. And to show you what I mean, I don't really have to show you, but before what would happen is there's like this huge queue for items that need offload and items that need and objects that need pickup. And so the way it sort of works is if you have some sort of ore refinery, like this guy here, and if I don't build it, I guess, I don't know, I don't have to build it, but I'm building it anyway. Like this guy here, once he gets ore, or once he produces the ore into metal, it has to go somewhere, right? And so it queues it for offload, and there's a priority-based system. The priority of a shelf, I think, is -1, and the priority of other producers is maybe +1, and this can, different objects can have different priorities. So that if, for instance, something needed metal, like what needs metal? The nanobot builder on the Starmancer core, that thing needs metal. And so what's supposed to happen is the metal's supposed to be taken directly to the Starmancer core instead of to a shelf first. Okay. But then secondly, because there's a lot of shelves, or could be a lot of shelves, there's sort of some optimizations where if all that's left for input requests are shelves, we stop checking them. Okay. But then second, like I said, there can be a lot of shelves. And to determine the closest shelf, you have to do some sort of pathfinding generation, right? And that performance, well, I optimized it and I cached some things after I did this, but that performance could be really bad if there was just a bunch of shelves and you had to calculate the distance from that shelf to every potential object every single time you're looking for an offload. But anyway, but the point is now the closest shelf is used and everyone is sort of happy about it. And by the way, just like with the drop-offs, there's the same issue with, well, I'm talking about the crop drop-off. So just like with the crop drop-off, so there's the exact same issue with the shelves where it depends on who's moving it. So the person who's moving it is going to dictate, how far away this thing is. And also to complicate the matter is the fact that there's different access positions for objects. And so you have to calculate the access position that the pickup is going to occur at before you can figure out where the drop-off is going to be. And to show you exactly, literally what I mean, if you were to do something like this, oops, I messed that up so bad. But if you did something like this, and even if you imagine it was this colonist here, fine. If the colonist were to take something from here, actually I should say this. If the colonist were to pick up ore from this shelf, and if it was intended for this guy here, then that's pretty close, right? But on the other hand, if it was intended for something that was way over here, like this guy, now, well, first of all, now it's not even walkable, but let's just assume that it is, and I would make some sort of crazy shenanigans type maze to get there. Like that, and that. Why can't I select this door? Am I crazy? That was weird. I couldn't select it for a second.
That was weird.
Who knows? Maybe let's say I made like some sort of crazy maze, because I'm like, yeah, screw the pathfinding generation. Like this or something. Because I'm really interested in hurting performance or something. Right, okay. This is barely even a maze. It's actually just a hallway. It's not a maze at all, actually, because it's only one direction. I have to add like dead ends for it to be a maze, right? So this is now kind of a maze, right? It's kind of a maze.
Yeah, I think that counts as a maze.
There's one dead end, so here. Let me.
There's one at the top too.
There. Okay, so if I did something. Okay, but anyway. So now if the colonist were to walk from the same shelf, right, and he started over here, well, then the access position he used is the one up here. Then that would mean the distance from this shelf to this object for this colonist is pretty freaking far, right? But then if you had a second colonist in here, it's much closer, right? So that's sort of something to think about. And again, just like with the door lighting, you just kind of do it, and you're like, oh, what's so special? That's what should happen. Oh, I know that's what should happen, but that's sort of hard. I mean, computers are dumb, so you have to tell them all these things that they can't see. And also with pathfinding, like you can obviously look very easily and say, oh, well, there's a shelf here, and that's the closest one. I can draw a straight line with my mind. But you can't draw a straight line with the pathfinding. And I hate it. So is there anything else, Evan, that's particularly interesting? Oh, rugs. Rugs now render below colonists, so that's pretty cool, huh? These big rugs. What are these big rugs? The big Persian rugs. So I render beneath colonists, so they don't render on top of colonists anymore. So for all your rug needs, you know, we got rugs again.
Atmosphere gets vented into space without giving a strobing effect now.
Yep, very fun. I changed how door atmosphere works so that when a colonist walks on a door, before what was happening is when you place a door, what it was doing, I feel so bad these guys are going to die now, but what it would do is it would basically copy. So right now there's some atmosphere on this floor right here, and I'm about to place a door on it, by the way. And when I would place this door, whatever atmosphere was there, it just kind of retained on that door, and that's mostly fine. But it's bad in a few instances. One instance that it was bad was if, like this case, there's low oxygen. If I were to add oxygen to this room, and if I do it fast enough, they won't die. Like that. No, now was it cold? What are they complaining about? Why is it so cold? Oh, because the oxygen I added is cold. That's why. Huh. Whatever. It must have a temperature of 0, the oxygen I added. But anyway, but then this door would never get atmosphere. So that was sort of annoying. But then even more annoying is if you had someone who, for whatever reason, was just stuck on this door floor, like maybe a mechanic, they would eventually breathe all the oxygen, and then they would die. And that's not ideal, because we don't like to see mechanics die. By the way,
sometimes, like, what colonists would walk through, they'd flash, like, the suffocating
yeah, you'd see it sometimes, yeah, if they just happen to tick. What was that he just talked about? He's talking about being cold or something?
I think so.
It's interesting. It's like a little snowman guy.
Yeah.
Huh. I should know, but I was like, what was that? Did he think about it or did he say it? I'm pretty sure he said it. I'll have you pee on the floor. That's too bad. Who knows? The thing is, usually, if they talked about it, he should have had a memory for it. But maybe he did, and it just doesn't have a morale modifier. That could be it. Who knows? I'm like, what are you talking about? All right, so I think that's it. How long is this video? It's been forever. We've been talking, babbling for 27 minutes. But that's what we did. Special guest appearance by Evan. And if you're still listening to this, I guess, thank you. And by the way, you should try to never use the same saves in alpha ever. And if that was good advice, I should have started at the beginning. But for all of those of you who are still listening, it's good advice. Also, if you ever have any issues, you should completely quit your game. And just like with IT support, this is not even a joke. If you have issues with objects, try turning them off and on again. It'll refresh things. So sometimes that'll help your issues. It's not even a joke. Like if you have a shelf that won't accept items, try turning it off and on again. Because when you turn it online, it like refreshes all of its things. You got anything, Evan? Anything special to say?
I do not.
Cool. So let's say goodbye to our colonists, Elizabeth and Hazel. I'm not going to kill them. It sounded like I was, didn't it? Like I was like, say goodbye to them.
You were, yeah.
I'm not going to kill them and say goodbye to them. I don't know. Let's show, I don't know. You want to see a colonist sitting in a chair? Wow-y. He just walked through a wall. I need to add that to the bug report, is that colonists can walk through objects if their pathfinding route had already been generated. Then he should be trapped now. It's sort of funny. It's actually kind of hilarious, actually, that he gets trapped like that. I don't know why. It's so funny to me. They walk through the other side.
They walk through the wall.
And they can never get out. Oh my god. It's like a funny way to trap a colonist or something. Alright. Okay, that's it. This has gone on for long enough. So thanks for playing, people. Hopefully Starmancer is steadily, consistently getting better, and then one day it'll be more better. So, cool. Bye-bye.